Ever wonder why only 8% of people that set New Year's goals actually achieve them? The cycle of setting big goals at the beginning of the year and watching them fizzle out can leave you feeling like a failure that will never fully reach your potential. The real issue, we focus on goals, not the systems that make them achievable. Look at it this way. Goals are like your dream destination on a big road trip, and systems are like the car that will get you there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create fail-proof systems that will put your goals on autopilot and evidence-based strategies to stick with these easy to implement systems. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Tiffany, a neuropsychologist that has helped countless ambitious women transform their goal getting with proven systems, just like the ones I'm going to share with you today. In Atomic Habits, James Clear said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." But how do you do that? To start, let me show you the crucial first step in this process that most people don't even know they're doing wrong. In fact, last year, I faced a realization that hit close to home. I had what I call circumstance blindness. Despite being a psychologist dedicated to intentional living, I found myself living by circumstance, not by choice. My therapist had pointed out that my OCD symptoms actually disappeared whenever I took a break from clinical work. Vacation, staycation, it didn't matter. My anxiety and my symptoms just seemed to melt away. But as soon as I returned to see clients dealing with one traumatic story after another, the stress would creep back in and overwhelm me. Then I picked up the book 2 Weeks Notice by Amy Porterfield. Initially, I thought it would help me plan an exit strategy to leave my job once I'd paid off my student loans. But as I read, a light bulb went off and I was like, why wait? My ancestors didn't struggle for me to live by chains or obligations or a job that no longer served me. It really dawned on me that I was in the driver's seat of my life. Ironically, something I always preach to my clients and that I'm always preaching on this channel. This epiphany opened up new pathways for using my neuropsychology expertise in non-triggering ways like supervising students and creating content. This shift was really monumental. It reminded me that even though I thought I was designing my life, in this aspect of my life, I hadn't truly given myself permission to set goals based on what I truly wanted and what I really needed. So before we dive into systemizing your goals, let's remember how crucial it is to set goals correctly in the first place, align with our true desires and with a strategy that aligns with what you truly want. So I actually want to start by giving you a system to set goals for success that is aligned with your highest self. So let's dive into creating your goal system that aligns perfectly with the life you really desire. Grab your notebook and let's break this down. First things first, let's get clear on what's truly important to you right now in this season of your life. Think deeply about your values, those non-negotiables that you hold dear in your life. With those values in mind, let's define your dream life according to what's most important to you. So imagine you had a magic wand in your hand. If there were no constraints, no shoulds, no external pressures, what would your life look like? Think about, where do you see yourself in 5 years and 10 years? These are what I call your larger sun goals, right? Your larger than life goals. Now, once you have that based on your values, I want you to bring it a little closer. Where do you want to be in just 1 year? These are what I call your moon goals. And if you need help with clarifying your values or fleshing out your moon goals, my Modern Mission Planner that I have is going to walk you through that step by step if you want to give that a consideration and take a look. Step 2 is to develop a winning strategy. And this step is often glossed over by many goal gurus, but not here. It's time to craft a game plan that's designed for success. Your goal strategy is actually like the playbook you're going to use to achieve your goals. So here are some things to consider when developing your winning strategy. Think about what could speed up your success. What skills or connections will help you win? What could you prioritize to make your success faster? Or maybe what resources could aid you on your journey. Overall, I want you to consider what might accelerate your success. What can you leverage to give you an edge as you go after these goals? And then you're going to prioritize actions that can speed up your journey and make it easier for you, and identify resources that could also support you. Next, step 3 is going to be reverse goal setting. And this is a really crucial factor of your goal system. So using the 12-week year, now now let's shake up traditional annual goal setting approaches. Instead of setting annual goals, think in quarters, and this is called periodization. These quarter goals aren't just like check boxes. They're milestones that are intricately linked to those moon goals that we just talked about. So then for each quarter goal, set what we call your STAR goals. And these are things like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals that are precisely designed to push you closer to those quarterly checkpoints and incorporate that strategy. In the book, The 12-Week Year, these are called your lead goals and should be tracked each week to make sure you're staying on track. I have a really helpful video on how to use the 12-week year. I will link at the end of this video that will walk you through that process if you're new to it. So by aligning your goals with your highest self, that highest part of yourself, you're not just setting targets, you're crafting a life that really truly matters to you. But here's the thing, once you have your shiny goals, there seems to be a mountain of things to do to reach these goals that you always have to add to your already never-ending to-do list. And let's be real, the mental load of juggling all the things can be so overwhelming. This next system will help you get more done in less time and with less stress. Don't we all want less stress? So imagine working on your computer with a million different tabs open in your browser, 3 emails open, Photoshop open, all while trying to download a 20-minute video to your hard drive. Your computer gets completely overwhelmed, it starts to slow down, and eventually have to force it to shut down because it is completely frozen and you can see steam coming off the back of the computer. That's what it's like to have the mental load from trying to balance a million things on your to-do list. And just like when you have too many tabs open in your brain, you slow down and eventually you shut down and you get nothing done. Here's how you can create a task management system to close all those tabs in your brain. I want to teach you my COPE method for creating your task management system, which is actually the exact method I teach in my course, Systemize Your Goals. And it's the one that I've gotten the most emails about thanking me for teaching them this system. It uses a combination of strategies from the books Getting Things Done and Building a Second Brain. So let's dive into my COPE method. So the C stands for capture. I want you to create centralized digital and physical inboxes to capture all your tasks, all your ideas, all your notes, and any of to-do items that come to mind. So anytime you think of or you're presented with an action item or a to-do that you want to make sure you get done, you're gonna add it to your inbox. If it's physical, like actionable mail, you'll add it to your physical inbox. If it's a thought about something you need to do, get done, or an idea, like pitch yourself to work with a brand, or maybe you have an idea that you need to buy a more comfortable workout bra, I want you to add it to your digital inbox. So that will be kind of like a running to-do list that is centralized. Digitally, it's nice to have it on your phone and your computer. I personally use my Notion Second Brain to capture everything, like literally everything. Then speaking of second brain, the O stands for organize, which I recommend you using the strategies in the book, Building a Second Brain, which can be summarized using something called the PARA method. So each week you're gonna sit down for your weekly review, which I always stress that if you don't do anything else, this is key to maintain your systems, your weekly review. During this weekly review, you're gonna organize everything that you captured. In your digital second brain, you will organize for actionability, not category, by sorting items to either task, sorting items to projects, life's areas, or resources. I do have a Notion Second Brain template if you're interested, or you can create your own if you have your own favorite project management software. In my Systemize Your Goals course, I do have a step-by-step guide to create a second brain in any software, so no matter what software you use. I also have a free resource that will be useful in building your task management system, which is my Getting Things Done weekly review checklist that comes in either a Notion checklist or a PDF checklist, and also put a summary of my weekly review process in the description. I have a video of my weekly review process as well, so check out any of those resources if you need help with that. Next, the P stands for prioritize and schedule. Once you have your tasks organized, it's time to prioritize what needs to be done in the coming week, and you're gonna schedule out the rest that doesn't need to be done in the exact coming week. So go down your task list and categorize each task. If you're using my Notion Second Brain template, you'll assign it with a deadline and mark it as either due next, meaning you're gonna add it to to your weekly to-do list. I add these items to my running to-do list in my paper planner when I'm planning my week, or you're gonna mark it as scheduled, meaning it's scheduled out for a later deadline and you'll add that date, or you might mark it up as needs follow-up or to hold. In my template also, your tasks from your projects are gonna automatically sync to your larger task list. If you're using a different system, you're gonna wanna take a look at your project task list as well and schedule those items out. Do they need to be done in this coming week? Or if not, set them for a later date. You're also gonna wanna take a look at your life areas and add any recurring tasks to your weekly to-do list, such as social media tasks that repeat themselves or family tasks that maybe repeat themselves, checkups and things like that. Then once you are done with your weekly review, you're going to engage with your system. That's the E. The last piece of your task management system is to engage. So this is where you're going to review last week's wins, last week's challenges, then move on to plan and time block your week now that all your tasks are organized and nicely managed in your system. But now that you have a system for your tasks, you may be left feeling overwhelmed or thinking to yourself, there just isn't enough time to get all this stuff done. Next, I want to show you how to build a system that's going to allow you to get more done without the overwhelm and the burnout. So there was actually a point after I had my first baby that I found myself in my house nursing my baby, surrounded by laundry, Post-it notes, and my head swirling with all these ideas of things I want to get done. And I remember sitting there alongside those thoughts of all these things I want to get done. I was also thinking, I just don't have enough time in the day to get all these things done. And as I looked down at my beautiful baby girl, Layla, the mom guilt consumed me in that moment because I felt burdened by all the responsibilities as a mother. And at the same time, I was missing my days filled with hustling after my dreams. And I felt really guilty for that. The tears in that moment fell down my face. They weren't because I regretted becoming a mother, but because I knew I had to find a way to have enough time for both my passions and being a mother, or the postpartum depression that I was experiencing was just consumed me. So I started thinking about my time before motherhood, and I realized that I had actually romanticized my efficiency before that. I thought I was just naturally productive, right, and got all these things done because I had more time before becoming a mom. But the reality is I had a strict time management system and used a planner religiously and started each season prioritizing what mattered. All practices I had gotten away from once I became a mother. And that's when I created my first planner, streamlined to meet my own needs as a busy woman and now busy mom. And up until that point, I was coaching women on the psychological and the spiritual aspects of turning your dreams into a reality. But it was then at that point that I started incorporating and also teaching them all the practical time management strategies I was starting to use once again and used before to help me reach my goals and help them reach their goals more efficiently. And the results were really amazing. Not only did I see my own life transform with a structured time management system, I saw that it was working for other women too, especially the neurodivergent ones that I was coaching. Here's the thing. There is enough time to get things done if you, one, prioritize what matters, which I like to call your intention for the season, and this includes all the things in your goal system, and two, if you use a structured time management system. So let me show you exactly how to create a structured time management system for yourself. So in my course, Systemize Your Goals, I go into depth about building a time management system that includes rinse and repeat strategies, energy management systems, and a deep dive into transforming your habits to routines. For time's sake, in this video, I'm gonna share with you the foundation of my time management systems that I teach in my course, which is one, my 3-7 time blocking method, and two, setting up your weekly non-negotiables. My 3-7 time blocking method is super simple, but it's definitely a game changer. So after you've done your weekly review and you have your running to-do list for the week of things you decided were to be done this week, you're going to transfer your appointments from your digital calendar, like your iCal, your Google Calendar, to your weekly plan in your planner and assign those weekly to-dos that you determined this week around those meetings and appointments that are kind of, are set in stone and can't be moved. You're going to put your to-dos around those. Then when you know what you want to get done each day, you're going to use your daily planning pages to apply my 3-7 time blocking method. It is imperative to do this in your paper planner and not your digital calendar. One, because you're more likely to get it done from actually writing it down when it comes to this weekly way of planning. And 2, because your digital calendar will become too overwhelming if you try to do this 3-7 method in your digital calendar. So here is how to do my 3-7 time blocking method. 1, each day you're going to have 3 blocks to block out in your day, and it's really helpful to think of your day in these 3 blocks. It's going to be 1 morning, 2 day, and 3 evening. Those are your 3 blocks, and once you start thinking in that way, you're automatically going to be more efficient. Then within those blocks, you're going to block out your 7 routines that will act as containers to get things done. This will be based on habits that support your intention for the season. And if you want more help on deciding on habits and transforming those habits into routines, consider my Notion Habits and Routines Organizer that's going to walk you through your values to your habits to your routines and has trackers so you can track your habits and routines as well. So let's go through these 7 routines. First is your early morning routine, which is for you. That's time for you before the kids wake up if you have kids, or before work starts meeting you if you're just working. 2 is your morning routine. That's for home and family. That might be things where you get your kids out of the door, you do your cleaning routine. 3 is your AM work routine, and I like to base this on my batch days. So during this AM time, the time after your morning routine and before your lunch routine, you're going to do the work that you have decided that you're going to batch for that day. Then you have your lunch routine. So my lunch routines vary on different days. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm packing orders and going to UPS in that second. So first 30 minutes, obviously I'm eating lunch, and then the second 30 minutes I'm doing UPS, and the other days I'm doing errands. So that's what my lunch routine usually looks like, eating and then some type of errand. Then you're going to have 5 is your PM work routine. Again, you're working on that batch work that you decided for your batch days during the PM. 6 is your wind down work routine. This is like minus 30 minutes, 4:30 to 5, where I kind of shift from work mode to home mode. It's helpful to not just jump in at the end of work, like stop your work, and then for me, if you work from home, race upstairs or race out of your office, or if you're working in an office, just like race to your car. So taking that last 30 minutes to clean off your desk, to kind of plan for the next day, time block for the next day, close out any last minute emails, and just kind of shift your energy from work to looking at what you have for tomorrow and cleaning off your desk, cleaning up your office, that kind of thing. And then 7th routine is your evening routine. Some people may break this down into like with the kids and then after the kids. I like to just call them an evening. So I do things like I cook, I do my kids' bedtime routine, I do my closing of my kitchen. Then after they go to bed, I do my skincare routine, and then I'll just kind of end with stuff for me to help me recharge before I go to sleep. So that's things like mindful coloring or watching TV. And then I end with either journaling or reading and gratitude practice with my husband. And as a bonus little tip, I do like to tell people when you are time blocking out your days to add buffer blocks into your days, because things are going to just take longer than you expect them to take. But as long as you have this 3-7 method, that'll give you the nice system and a nice structure to get the most important things done. And those buffers will help you to be more realistic with your planning. Then the second crucial factor in your time management system are your weekly non-negotiables, which will be what you input into your digital calendar as recurring appointments. This way, when you are planning your week and you're transferring those meetings and appointments to your paper planner, you don't lose sight of these things that are most important to you. Adding these appointments, you'll always carve out a space with these things that must get done each week. Even if you have to adjust the time for each week, it's going to be a placeholder having it digitally. So some examples of mine are my weekly home blessing, meal planning, and my weekly review. Now, all the systems we discussed so far are great, but they only work if you stick with them and actually do what you've planned, which is why this next system may be the secret sauce to actually staying motivated and consistent on your goal-getting journey. Remember when I said that systems are the car to get you to your dream life destination? Well, you can think of discipline as the fuel that keeps the car going, but it's not all about willpower and motivation. Our discipline system needs to account for our human factor and the reality that we will fall off track. And not only is that okay, it's an opportunity to use that for our benefit. So here's how to create your own discipline system that you can refer to when you've fallen off track. Here's what to include in your plan. First, you want to include a way to understand your weaknesses. Identify what typically knocks you off track. Is it procrastination? Is it lack of motivation? motivation. Recognizing these can help you pinpoint exactly where your discipline system needs to bolster your efforts. 2 is to build accountability. Share your goals with someone you trust, or even better, join a community that shares similar ambitions. This increases your commitment and likelihood to follow through. Research actually shows that having a specific accountability appointment can increase your chance of success by 95%. I actually have a VIP accountability group. Shout out to the women in that group. It's closed now. I'm going to open it again in the last quarter of the year for that final 12-week year. If you're interested in joining the waitlist, I will put the link below. 3, a part of your system needs to include planning for setbacks. So develop a reset plan for when you falter. This should include steps to review what went wrong and how to pivot to get back on track without beating yourself up. And then 4 is to track and adjust. In your system, you want to regularly review your progress and adjust your strategies as needed. This keeps your system dynamic and responsive actually to your real world experience. With this system, you're going to create a framework that supports not just your pursuit of your goals, but also sustains your progress even when motivation wanes. And really quick, for those that want to dive deeper, for those of you looking to really master these systems, like I've mentioned, my course offers a comprehensive guide to creating each of these systems. But the discipline system module is probably the most unique and really helps you set yourself up for success. So be sure to check it out if you're interested and you want a little bit more help with this. There is also a bonus module called Neurospicing and Productive to help you address any neurodivergence issues that may be getting in the way of your productivity. I know there was a lot of information in this video, but here's the main thing I want you to take away. No more dimming your light, because the truth is you're not a failure. You are one of God's greatest successes. I want you to have confidence in yourself, knowing that you have the support you need in these systems to fulfill your greatest potential, because your glow up is inevitable and I can't wait to see you shine. And as promised, if you want a tangible breakdown of how to apply the 12-week year, I teed up a video I did for you to watch next. Until next time, cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.